Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Today is President's Day 2016. The holiday was originally known as Washington's birthday, later changed to celebrate the birthdays of both Washington and Lincoln, and now in modern times meant to recognize the service of all the presidents. So in this video, we'll talk about the history of the holiday. We'll also talk about some of the original presidents of the nation. And we'll talk about the overall beginning of the nation as well. What I want you to take away from this video is how this nation has been a Freemason creation since the beginning, and a nation that has always operated by a numerological code, a part of the true history of this nation kept from the history books, kept from the classrooms. And for any of you who are students, I ask that you share this information with your teachers. This information needs to be taught to the masses. Only then will people know the truth of this nation we live in. So with that said, let's get into it. If you're new here, I talk a lot about numerology and gematria. To warm you up with gematria, gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words. And by learning this language, you can learn a lot. Notice that the word holiday has a gematria of 74. Here in the United States of America, one of the holidays is on 7th month, 4th day, July 4th, the nation's birthday. It is the Freemasons who have created this nation, who have created our language, and have synced up so much by the numbers. Thanksgiving was first celebrated by George Washington, but it was not made into a national federal holiday until 74 years later by Abraham Lincoln, the first president, the 16th president, and the two presidents that President's Day is credited with. In a little bit, we'll talk about what 74 has to do with killing, as well as 3 of the first 5 presidents all died on the date of July 4th. So, President's Day, originally called Washington's birthday. That's what the holiday was called, Washington's birthday, which has gematria of 110, just like the word president. President equals 110. A number coded into many presidents, even those outside of the United States of America. Here's a famous one they teach about in the United States, Adolf Hitler, who's also born on April 20th, the 110th day of the year. Keep in mind there's a big way and a small way for all of this. Adolf Hitler was born in and died in April, supposedly. These are all just little examples, but just know that the Freemasons are an international organization. They have ruled history by the numbers. Many presidents have been actor agents, I am sure not even using their real names. People such as Barack Hussein Obama, whose real name is Barry Soetoro, or possibly even something else. But I assure you it's not Barack Hussein Obama. That's just all part of his character stage name for this moment in history. You know, in this nation, the people are ruled over by tyrants. And the people here, because of being ruled over by tyrants, have been chemically poisoned, brainwashed, turned into a bunch of believers and not thinkers. Otherwise, they would realize silly riddles such as getting the first black president in the middle of a national crisis, economic warmongering, being scared by terrorists such as Osama bin Laden. Then all of a sudden you got this President Obama rhyming with Osama. They give him the middle name Hussein, reminding of Saddam Hussein. People were confused and told it was Saddam Hussein. No, it was Osama bin Laden who took down the World Trade Centers. George W. Bush repeating both names. That number 110, remember the World Trade Centers were 110 stories tall. Can you guess the gematria of Osama bin Laden? You guessed it, 110. And you know who had those buildings built? Famous family, Rockefellers. Proposed and approved the World Trade Centers. So anyhow, just establishing the significance of this gematria. Notice the word birthday itself has a gematria of 42. So does the month of February, the month George Washington's born in. So does the word Freemason. So does the word war. Even World War, the small way also equals 42. So with regards to 42 in George Washington, when George Washington was born, the calendar system used in the United States was the Julian calendar. On that calendar, he was born on February 12th, which on the current calendar is the 42nd day of the year. However, we say George Washington's birthday is February 22nd on the Gregorian calendar, the calendar we're currently on. So anyway, with regards to 42, George Washington, his name is in the 42nd state, Washington State, the only state that has a flag bearing his face. And I'll show you something interesting. Washington State's flag is the only flag that is green in color, the only of the 50 states, the only one that's green. And green has a gematria of 49. Just like Washington, the small way, has a gematria of 49. Washington, the small way, also equals 58, like the word Freemasonry. In a little bit, we're going to talk about the Masonic tribute built for George Washington that's 333 feet tall. Anyhow, that color green, it also has a Jewish gematria of 137. 137 is the 33rd prime number. George Washington was a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason. Notice that Washington, D.C., also named after him, has gematria of 137. So does American Meridian, the meridian that cuts through Washington, D.C. With regards to 137 being the 33rd prime number, Washington, D.C., the headquarters of the federal government, federal, a word with 33 gematria. Here's the states in order of statehood. Notice that Washington's the 42nd state. Oregon, its bordering state, is the 33rd state, the number of obsession in Freemasonry. And remember, Freemason equals 42. And what else is interesting is the three states that make up the West Coast are Washington, Oregon, California. California is the 31st state. The ranging degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry are 31, 32, 33. Added together, summing to 96. This is interesting because the word Freemason in gematria equals 96, the big way, and 42, the small way. Notice that President's Day in simple English gematria sums to 159. It's the number 59 that stands out. I'll show you how that connects to George Washington's presidency. President's Day has been most recently changed to the third Monday of each February. Third Monday has the gematria of 59, also 131. 131 is interesting because the name George has a gematria of 57, and when you write out the word 57 and sum it in gematria, it sums to 131. Sometimes things can be coincidental. I just like to show all the connections. Some are stronger than others. Anyhow, George Washington became president April 30th, 1789. April, a month with 56 gematria. President has gematria of 47, 56, and 110. So April, a fitting month to become president. Anyhow, that date, 59 numerology, just like third Monday. Also a date with 32 numerology, America equals 32. The date of the Declaration of Independence, 7/4/1776, in numerology equals 32. 7 plus 4 is 11, plus 1 is 12, plus 7 is 19, plus 7 is 26, plus 6 is 32. I call 32 the America number. Average equals 32. College equals 32. Career equals 32. Whole lot of words we use with 32 gematria. It was also a date with 123 numerology. Conspiracy equals 123. With regards to the phrase third Monday of February, which President's Day is celebrated on, it has gematria of 113, just like Scottish. George Washington was in Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Important numbers in Masonry. Notice how if you broke that into 11 and 3, 11 times 3 is 33. The Freemason number of obsession. So George Washington, on the Gregorian calendar, born February 22nd, on the Julian calendar, February 12th, died December 14th, 1799, now known as Sandy Hook Hoax Day. Anyhow, check this out. George in Pythagorean gematria equals 39. He was the first of 39 signers on the Declaration of Independence. George, number 1 of 39. George equals 39. Again, Washington equals 49 and 58. Freemasonry 58. Meaning George Washington equals 88. Uncle Sam equals 88. So does poison and program. We have been poisoned and programmed as a people to think that these tyrants who rule over us are decent people, worth being celebrated, people worth having holidays named after. These are men who committed genocide, tyranny, deceit. These are horrible people that we celebrate. You know? America, a brainwashed nation. I'm trying to undo the brainwashing. I'm trying to get people to wake up. And in simple English gematria, George equals 57, Washington equals 130. With regards to 57, 4 of the first 5 presidents, if I'm not mistaken, were inaugurated at the age of 57. The word moon has a gematria of 57, and supposedly the moon does a complete reset in the night sky every 57 years. That's something I learned in this research when I was trying to figure out why so many presidents would have been inaugurated at age 57. And the first one, George, having a name gematria of 57. It's all about cycles, patterns, pattern recognition.